Hi, my name is Kayla Harrison, and the organization I decided to do my ASL project with was the La Casa Center located in Howell. And that is a women's shelter, and they mainly deal with domestic abuse and sexual assault. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into how I got involved with La Casa a little bit first, and just let you guys know the background on that. So originally I was invited into La Casa when I decided I needed to do some nonprofit work because I've been working in a corporation for the majority of my my college career. So I decided I needed some nonprofit work, so I reached out to La Casa to see if they had any work that I could do, mainly surrounded in like event planning, because I knew they did a lot of nonprofit events, like Denim and Diamonds, just a lot of sponsorship type things. So that was my original plan. So when I approached them, they did have room for me to come volunteer in their events, but they also said that they had a need for somebody to create weekly news articles, and they wanted to start this off in October, and they wanted to do one a week. So I said, you know what, that's not something I have a lot of experience in, but I think it would be great for me to try something if there's somebody above me who can kind of guide me in that and show me the ropes, because I had no experience in it whatsoever. So I took that on, and that was the first kind of project that I worked on with them. And I just did 4 newsletters, one each week in October, and I did those next to their communications lead and their volunteer coordinator, and that her name was Nicole and Deanna. I worked with Deanna a little bit, and she's the one that kind of approved the newsletters, but mostly I worked with Nicole on that project, just getting in, and she showed me all the ropes of how to work constant contact. That's the web base that I used for creating those newsletters. So that was a really good experience for me, because like I said, there was no work I've ever done in that before, and having Deanna go over those and tell me like what I could improve upon on those, that was helpful, just to see how something like that is even created, and especially in nonprofit organizations, what you can and cannot say to the community. So that was my first project, and that was really great. And then the second phase, well, to start off with that, I met with Nicole, and she just showed me the ropes. And then I also met with their events coordinator, her name is Christine, and she said that there was a need for someone to work on their adoptive family program for Christmas, because she had a lot of work that she was doing, and not a lot of people within La Casa. Their organization is a small group because they don't have a lot of money to send out, so they rely heavily on their volunteers. So Christine addressed this adoptive family program, and I was kind of familiar with that because I did a little bit with that in my current role at DTE. So I knew what it was a little bit. So she told me how they ran their program, and she asked me if I would be the lead on that, and I said absolutely. That sounds like a lot of fun. I love little kids, and I was really interested in getting to know more about just La Casa and how they run their nonprofit organization, and like overall. So the first thing that we did for that was sent out the sponsorship forms in October, and we just sent it out to the sponsors who sponsored last year, along with a couple other that we heard from. And we actually got a lot of reach out from people we didn't even send them to. So in total, we had 36 sponsors that we helped out this year, with a total, I think, of 137 clients. So the sponsorship outreach was humongous, like bigger than it's ever been at La Casa before, and we actually had a hard time matching up clients to sponsors because we had such a big outreach. And a lot of these sponsors, they wanted to sponsor about like 20 people, so it was hard to match them up, which is a great problem to have because it's such a huge outreach from the community, and that's great to see. So that was really heart-filling to see that and to get to work with that. So there was a roadblock on that assignment, though. Christine, the events coordinator who was leading this above me, who was kind of teaching me how this works, she decided she wanted to spend more time with her family, so she resigned from her position. And so that kind of left me at this roadblock, and I was like, well, I don't know how to do this. And so Deanna, I think I mentioned her earlier, she is their communications lead, so the project was really sent to be overseen by Deanna, but she had never really worked on it before either. So Deanna and I just kind of figured it out, and I went in one day for a meeting with Deanna, and we matched sponsors with clients and just figured out, okay, what's our next step? We have this outreach of sponsors. What are we going to do with the sponsors we don't match to clients because we had too many sponsors? So I came up with this idea to do what's it called, like a stocking stuffer. So all the kids will get stockings this year with their gifts as well, which is something that La Casa didn't have before. And Deanna really liked that idea because, I mean, while the kids get presents, they didn't get like goodies in their stocking. And I know as a kid I always really loved to do that and get those. It was exciting to open those on Christmas. So, excuse me. So that was a good idea, and she took it in, and we will be creating those, collecting those in mid-December, which is after this project is done. So I just want to give you a little bit of an overview of what that's going to be like. So on December 15th, 16th, and 17th, we will be, on the first 2 days, the 15th and 16th, we'll be collecting the gifts from the sponsors along with the stockings. So they're going to bring them to La Casa, and because it's a really confidential thing, sponsors can't know what clients they have. They just know the ages and what they requested on their client form. They are just going to drop those off at La Casa, and some of them are wrapped, some are not wrapped, so I'll be there both of those days just to oversee that. And on the last day, the 17th, that's when the clients come in and they get their gifts, and I've never been a part of anything like that, but I'm really excited to see that because I've heard that's like what you work for, and to see those kids' faces on those days, I'm really excited to see that. So those are kinds of my next steps, is just to make sure that runs smoothly. But overall, this project has been a lot of fun, and throughout that, I did a lot of meetings. I had a lot of meetings with Nicole and Christine, and then I have actually another couple right before December 15th, 16th, and 17th. I have a couple more meetings with Deanna just to make sure we're all set and have our project ready to execute smoothly. So it's been a really great project, and I'm excited to see how it all wraps up, and I'm glad that I got involved with this and see how a nonprofit works, because I only had that corporate experience before. And while nonprofit work is a lot more work, like because they don't have money to pay people, it's all volunteer based, it's a lot more rewarding, I would say. So that's definitely something that I will take with me, and I'm pursuing and finding in a future career, is something that is close to my heart regardless of really what the pay is, because I'd rather be happy and not get paid a lot of money than to work in a corporation where I'm working now and feel like I'm not really making a difference in anybody's life. So even just with that small part, that portion that I've been working with La Casa for, I have seen that already. So that's another thing I also did, I forgot to mention previously in this video, is I did about like 30 hours of volunteer training with them. So that certifies me to go out to like domestic cases with, I'd go with what's called a CASA, and they're an older volunteer who has experience in dealing with those kinds of situations. So I'd go out with them to these domestic cases at the houses and just talk with the people, the victims of abuse, and just offer them our services, tell them that we have a shelter if they need it, counseling sessions, things like that. And also there's lots of other things you can do, working with kids, counseling, just volunteering for the events, which I absolutely love to do. So that was the original plan getting in. But like I said, just gaining this other experience, particularly in the newsletter writing, that was some experience that I learned a lot from doing and writing, and just how everything flows in a newsletter. It's sometimes hard to get that wording down. So that volunteer training was kind of just something extra tacked on that I did for them, because I definitely plan on volunteering for them in the future, whether it be going out to those domestic cases, working with the children, whatever it might be. So overall, this project has been a lot of fun, and I definitely am going to continue volunteering with La Casa, and I'm excited. Thanks.